operators get paid. Welcome to the Restoration Rundown podcast, built for restoration contractors who want to build serious companies, not just stay busy. My name is Ben Riccardi, the founder of Ironclad Restoration Marketing, and we work exclusively in the restoration industry. And everything we talk about here comes from real companies, real conversation, real data, and real revenue conversations. Now, this show is about leadership, operations, digital marketing, and all the gaps that are quietly costing you money, because busy doesn't equal profitable. And one of the biggest revenue leaks that I see across this industry right now is response time. Marketing can get the phone to ring, but if you don't control the conversation fast, you don't control the job. That's why we partnered with LiveSwitch. LiveSwitch allows homeowners to connect live, show the damage in real time, and help restoration contractors win jobs while that urgency is still high. Now, if you want to pressure test your response time and your close rate, there's a link in the show notes that gets you a one-on-one with their CEO, James Hatfield, to see how LiveSwitch can change the game for your business. Now, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the all new and improved Restoration Rundown recording studio. Really excited to be back here. Getting some episodes recorded, getting some info out there, bringing on some really great guests to wrap up 2026. We're in the middle of July, believe it or not. We've had a little bit of a hiatus here. I welcomed a new baby into the world, and obviously had to redesign the whole entire studio because of that with this new season that we're in. So we're really excited to kick off this episode. So if you're listening to this and you're a restoration contractor, and you're not really thinking about attending live events for the rest of this year as part of your growth strategy, then this episode is going to change your mind. Because today we're going to go behind the curtain of one of the biggest events in the plumbing franchise world. Let's get into it. And my next guest here works on the franchise development event side for, like I mentioned, one of the most recognizable brands in plumbing, One Tom Plumber. He's their business development director, and he's also the guy behind the curtain on their biggest event of the year, the National Pink Plunger Expo, happening this September in Clearwater, Florida, where Ironclad will actually be exhibiting there. Guys, please welcome Alvaro to the show. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How's it going, man? Well, thank you for having me on. This is super exciting, and congrats on the baby and the new studio. It's looking sweet, man.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's a little bit of a difference. If you guys watch this on YouTube, you notice that my intro, it needs to be re-recorded, and it's been a while since we've been on here and recorded. So, we started off a little clunky, but man, I've got the man himself on here, world traveler, growing the heck out of One Tom Plumber. If you've been to any events in the last 2 years, Alvaro's there. He's a great guy. I'm really lucky to be able to have him on and have you on today, Alvaro. And I'm sure we're going to get a ton of value out of here. But first, before we dive into everything, give me the quick version. How did you end up with One Tom in the franchise development, and then specifically more into the home services, restoration, plumbing space?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a long story because I was originally born and raised in Spain, and I moved to the States quite a few years ago for school, came to play sports. And after seeing all the opportunities that were here, I was like, I want to be part of this. I want to stay in the US and build a career out of it. So I moved to Chicago, went to business school, started working in sales and marketing for quite some time. And I was lucky enough to become really good friends with somebody that I went to with in college, Ben Grunstein, and his uncle happened to be Rocky Hensley. And they were starting to build something very unique in the restoration space and in the plumbing industry. And they were like, we need to build they saw a gap in the plumbing industry, a huge gap that was having there. And they wanted to keep building up in the restoration side. So they were like, Alvaro, come to Cincinnati, check us out, see what we're building. We're trying to franchise this and build something very unique. And when I came down here to Cincinnati, I was blown away by how they actually spotted that gap. And they were like, we need to build something very unique. We want you to be part of this. So I packed all my stuff in Chicago, came down here, and the rest is history. We started with a few franchises because people wanted to add another business to the restoration company that they could grow the water mitigation side, because the first call goes to the plumber.
Yeah.
And if you own the plumbing and then you have the restoration, then you control both. It's two-stop shop, double the revenue. Boom. People started looking into it and it worked. It's a model that works. It's pink, it's recognizable, it's outstanding. And that's what drew me into the restoration and plumbing space, especially with young kids that they don't really know what to do. And they have that stigma about going into restoration, the trades, plumbing. they're missing out a huge opportunity the way that this industry is growing. So packed everything, moved here, and here I am.
Awesome, man. That's I appreciate that background. So by the way, what sports were you playing?
I was playing tennis. That's how I got recruited. I was playing tennis in Spain, traveling, and one school was like, "Do you want to come play tennis for us?" And but I was like, "I don't speak English. I'm not good at it." And it was quite funny because I moved here without speaking a single word of English. I could count to 10, say a few colors, and so I had to pick it up pretty quick. And now I think my English is a little bit better.
Yeah, your English is definitely better than my Spanish. I think I can count to 10 and I know a few colors and probably some bad words too that we can't share on the podcast. But yeah, good on you, man. That's just a testament to you, who you are as a person and how hard you had to work to get where you are. Speaking of where you're at, what does a business development director at Franchise HQ actually do? Because, ask contractors, what they think about Franchise HQ, and they might just kind of look at you funny. They don't really know what's happening behind that. So walk me through kind of what your role is there at HQ and what that looks like on a day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. Obviously, we're selling and awarding franchises to whether it's restorers, people in the trades, or entrepreneurs that want to build a company, especially on the trades, because, it's recession resistant, AI resistant. It's a business that it's not going to go away. So there's a lot that goes into it. First of all is exposing the brand, like showing the entire country, like who we are, what we do. So there's a lot of marketing behind, because you got to put together, whether it's testimonials, you show the franchise, show the opportunity. So there's a lot that goes into it to show the candidates and the people that are looking into owning a company on like what it would look like and what are they going to get out of it. There's a lot of obviously finding the right people for it. There's a lot of traveling, going to shows to show the brand. Like that's how you and I met a few years ago, going to conventions. And I think that's one of the best opportunities, not only just for One Tom on the franchising side, it's just for all the other businesses as well.
Yeah.
It's the networking part. It's meeting the right people, just communicating, showing the brand, showing what you could achieve by owning a franchise, especially because building a business from scratch, whatever it is on the trades, it's really hard. You got to find out the color, you got to find out the logo, you got to find your target audience, you got to put a lot of things behind to build a business. With a franchise, you already have all that stuff set up for you because it's a replicable model that is proven that it works, and it makes it easier because there's a whole team behind that helps you build a company from day one till you open, and then there's constant support as well.
Yeah. And we've had Rocky on a handful of times. I mean, love the guy. He's awesome. I get along with him great. He's walked us through, what makes One Tom different, kind of his whole background and story. But for the people that might not have tuned into that episode, maybe some new listeners today, maybe some new ones we're going to gain having you on here. What kind of walk us through kind of what makes One Tom's franchise model a little bit different right now than every other one that's out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the main idea at first, because we were like, okay, there's a lot of plumbing companies out there. What makes One Tom Plumber unique? One of the things that people think when they're trying to build a company, they want to build something that's a logo that they like, a brand that the owner is proud of. We took a 360 turn and we were like, okay, let's look at what the customer would like instead of what we like. Yeah. So after doing a bunch of research, we partnered up with a bunch of consultants in franchising and other businesses. We were lucky enough to partner up with some consultants from Procter & Gamble, because they're also based here in Cincinnati, capital branding of the world. So we did a research and we found out that 86% of all plumbing calls came from women. So we're like, let's build a brand that targets that audience, that make them feel safe, that make them feel comfortable with it. So we went with the whole pink color, with the One Tom Plumber. The name is the phone number. And that's where the pink plunger came together. And then we wanted to reshape the look on the plumbers, because that's the stigma again on, the crack, the dirty guy coming in, not caring about your house, making a mess, getting it fixed, leaving, giving you different pricing. We wanted to be systematic, creating a new and unique experience for the customer. So you get that customer to call you back when they have another problem. And not only on the residential side, we're heavily focused on commercial, because that's where the large tickets are. So property managers want to have a professional plumber that is ready to go, that is on the emergency 24/7, that is going to come and take care of your problem, whether it's at 5 p.m., 8 p.m., or 2 a.m. Yeah. And what makes us unique is just our logo, our branding, and our professionalism when we go and take care of the problem.
Yeah, I love the fact that you guys just can bolt on to home services businesses. It makes sense. And I implore you guys, if you haven't listened to, Rocky's been on twice now, listen to both those episodes. Not only just his background is incredible, but just how One Tom came about and the thought that was put behind it, I think it can be understated a little bit how much work and money and stuff was invested into doing this right. And, as a marketing agency, we're always pushing branding, because you want to be remembered. And I think you guys nailed it. So kudos to you on that. And that's probably why we were talking pre-show a little bit. You guys are experiencing some extremely great growth, right? And that a lot of that's because, Rocky was smart enough to hire this professional tennis player from Spain to come in and help him out with things. But not everybody can do that. But speaking of new franchisees, I mean, you guys are actively growing. You're trying to get into new markets. What are you guys looking for in a franchisee, and kind of what separates the people that you say yes to? Because I know you guys have quite a large turn down rate, I think, which is also great because it helps you move. So what are you looking for in somebody, that wants to get involved in a franchise, in One Tom franchise, and kind of what separates the good from the bad, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, these might sound like it's such a simple answer, but we look for people that we like in a way, because when we don't get along, we're going to be working, spending a lot of resources and time on the new franchises, because we take over with the onboarding team and the franchise team, the digital marketing team. They're going to be meeting with our franchisees daily. Like, we're working with them constantly. So if we don't like each other, that's not going to end up well, right? So one of the things that we look is for passionate people that are entrepreneurs, that have that mindset of growth, of scaling, that get along with other people. And one of the things I found out about these industries, for the most part, like, everyone in the trades are really nice. They're very genuine and kind people. And that's one of the things that's why it works very well when they're at like a plumbing business, because they deal with technicians, they deal with dispatchers, with ops managers. They deal with a community on a daily basis, and it's the same with One Tom Plumber. So we want nice people that we get along with, that they're passionate and want to grow. So that's the right mindset. Whether it's a restoration owner, HVAC, electrical owner, construction, entrepreneur, like people that have been in corporate for 20 years and they're like, I'm done with corporate America. I want to own my own business and I want to go into the trades because that's what's working. I want to have that support and I want to get along with the people I'm going to work with. So we're about working hard, making money, generating wealth, but also have fun while doing it. You don't want to be you don't want to get bothered by a lot of people when you're building a business.
Sure. Right? Yeah, I appreciate that. So I know you guys are growing a lot. Are there any markets you guys are actively targeting out there? As we've got some listeners, and most of them are in the restoration or home services space here. Is there any markets you guys are actively trying to target right now? I know you got a pretty aggressive growth plan.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We don't have anything in Indiana as of yet.
Wow.
And it's the state right next to us. And I mean, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Evansville, all those cities like are great markets, especially because they're so close to us, to Ohio. So it makes it much easier to come to Cincinnati for training or for the support that we can send people over to their locations. Indiana's a great market, especially because they already heard about One Tom Plumber, because we're all around that state, but we're not in it. So that will be a great one. I mean, we have a great exposure in Florida, Texas. We're growing rapid in California. The brand's been killing it over there. So we are technically in 28 states, 117 locations awarded, and 64 currently operating, and keep growing. We assigned 10 new locations this year. The newest ones were San Jose and Kansas City. So any listeners there, like, they already took your market.
Indiana restorers, Indiana plumbers, Indiana HVAC technicians, guys, this is your call to action. You need to get a hold of Alvaro and the One Tom team. We'll add some links and everything at the end of the show if you guys are going to check this out on YouTube, and I'm sure we'll share it later on. But before we dive into, this awesome expo you guys have coming up, I want to talk a little bit about some practicalities with the franchisees. So as a marketing agency, we've worked with, franchises from the big ones down to the small ones, individual franchisees, the corporate. And what attracts us to the One Tom brand and why I kind of get along with Rocky and you is you guys, your vetting process and your whole brand. I mean, you're really carrying these guys. If you're giving them a good hand up versus just selling them a franchise, walking away and like, hey, it works, it doesn't. You guys are vested into these people. But I want to know, I know not every one of these guys are a home run for you guys. So I kind of want to get a little bit of insight into, from your seat, where you're at in the business dev, what's the number one things that makes or breaks, growth for a franchisee or a location once it's up and running?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we got into when we were building the franchise is because we had experience in franchising before, because we bought a couple franchises in the past. And the way that it went is like we pay the franchise fee and we're expecting all the support, all these playbooks, all these models and systems that were going to come in, and nothing came in. No support, no digital marketing, no leads, nothing whatsoever. So we were like, okay, We just bought a franchise and we got just the name and the brand, and we are responsible for everything else, which at the end of the day in franchising, that's your business to run, and you are supposed to be in charge of it and running the operations the day to day, getting the people in place and grow it. But we didn't feel that we were getting that support. So one of the things that we wanted to invest a lot of resources and time in is our operational support, franchises, business coaches, or digital marketing, and the things that we do for our franchisees, because our fortunes are tied together. If they're more successful, then One Ton Plumber keeps growing, and we're more successful. So one of the things that breaks franchisees is the involvement. You're buying a business that is a franchise. That doesn't mean that this is passive income. This is not something that runs on its own. You have to be involved. I mean, if you spend all this money on a business and you don't care like what your operations manager is doing, you don't meet with them daily, and at least in the early stages of the business, and you don't have involvement, that's what's going to break you. Because if you go 1 year without involvement and then you're trying to catch up, that's a whole year of work that you missed.
Oh
that
yeah.
your business has been operating the wrong way. So you have to reboot, revamp the whole system, go all the way back and restart and do all the thing over again. So involvement from the very beginning is key for the franchisees, because that's what we want to achieve. You're buying a business, and that's what people want to do at the end. You're working your business for a few years, and then you have more time to either build other businesses, keep generating wealth, and doing other things with your life. Spend time with your family, go golfing, go play tennis, go whatever you want to do, and have fun with your family and your loved ones. But you need to put that involvement at first. That's what will either make you or break you.
Yeah, thank you. I do see it. I think that's one of the best things, like I said before, to preempt that question I sent you, because I kind of already knew the answer of what you guys are doing for your people, and kudos to you. I mean, that drives your growth, and that, you have a lot of great case studies. I've met and interviewed Claire down from the Texas area the other day. I mean, it's great what you guys are doing here. So kudos to you. But let's get into the real deal. Why you're here today? Why I'm really excited to bring you on, because you've got an event coming up here in the end of September. And by the way, it's right on my birthday too. I think did you guys plan it that way, right? To run it right around my birthday?
100%.
Yeah. And it's the last day too. So that's like the fun day, right? So let's talk to me a little bit about the Pink Plunger Expo, what it actually is for probably a lot of people that haven't heard about it, even though it's humongous.
It's growing a lot, and it's quite surprising. We have a few pictures here on our wall here in our office showing the first convention we ever did. That was here in Cincinnati. There was 3 franchises. There was 20 of us. And back to the last one that we had in Clearwater, Florida, that we had almost 300 people, franchise owners, general managers, salespeople, partners, vendors, sponsors, and consultants, podcasters. There's a lot of keynote speakers that came in because they're seeing what One Ton Plumber is doing and how we're growing, and everybody wants to be part of it. And we're so happy to have brought these special people like yourself and other partners and vendors that come in that help One Ton Plumber grow and become why we're so unique. That's everybody's part in it, right? So after the first one, we kept growing, and then we had it a couple years in Cincinnati. It was still pretty small, but this yet to be the biggest convention ever. This is dedicated exclusively for the One Ton Plumber family. You have a franchise, you're required to attend. All the vendors and partners come in. We bring like keynote speakers. I don't know if you're familiar with Roger Wakefield's a big influencer figure, and in the plumbing industry. He's going to be our keynote speaker this year. We're super excited about that. We have a bunch of consultants, podcasters coming in, professionals in profitability, digital marketing. We have the whole Eversmith Brands crew coming in. That's part of the umbrella that we're part on right now. And they couldn't be so more excited about the One Ton Plumber growth. So it's super exciting. We're going to do a private cruise in the Tampa Bay area. We do our national golf outing. There's one of the things that is restores love to golf. So it's one of the things that we included, and it gets super competitive. We played against other franchises. It gets pretty intense, super fun. We do networking events or award ceremony, parties, and it's just a whole week of fun, networking, learning more about like what can I do better for my business. Everybody that leaves that conference, they come back with a couple nuggets that is going to make their business better, not only for the plumbing company, but also for the restoration side, because we have 90% of our owners also own a restoration business. There's a lot of there are franchises, and there's a lot that are independent. So they share a lot of stuff, and we're a big family that wants to help one another and keep growing. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, and it says a lot about, one of the things that I think says a lot and adds to your event are the heavy hitter speakers that you have coming in there, the people exhibiting, and your guest speakers and keynotes. It's crazy. And I think it says a lot about what you guys are building. From my experience, the best franchises out there are putting on events for their franchisees. They're not just a set it and forget it. And there's not that many out there. You'd think that, some of the bigger ones do it. They'll throw something together, like a get together once a year or something like that, but not an intensive like this, where they're learning, there's networking. This is just a really great event. And, I kind of want to know from your end, why is it important for HQ to, invest in something like this? So, what are you guys hoping to get out of this at the end of the day?
So one of the main things that we talk about is we want to get all of our franchisees together to become friends in a way.
Yeah.
We say that we're a big family because when someone has a problem or they have a question, they feel comfortable. They pick up the phone and call. If I'm in Houston, Texas, I have a location there. And I can call Austin, I can call Chicago, I can call Long Island, I can call Tampa, I can call whoever I want because I already know these people. I know that they're there to help me as well. Because it's not only the success of one person, it's the success of the entire network. So we want to help one another. And it goes back to the vetting process. And when we bring people on, we want to bring team players, people that want to help each other and they want to grow as well. So that's one of the main things. And also there's a lot of things that we share on these networking events at the national convention. We share what the best franchisees are doing that others aren't. That is super important for the newbies that come in, the rookies that are just building through the onboarding process. Like, hey, what did you do 4 years ago that you wish you knew you could have done better, or yada yada yada. And
for sure,
put this whole thing together.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really exciting, man. I cannot wait. And if somebody's on the fence, I want to back up a little bit. One of the things we talk about a lot here as a marketing agency is it's kind of taking an omnipresent approach, right? So, we're involved heavily in the digital world. We build a system out for Google Ads, website, search engine optimization, AEO, GEO. We're in tune with all the AI. But one of the things that we really push our clients into doing, and something I've been screaming about on this podcast for the last 5 years, is getting involved in these conferences, because you hit the nail on the head, right? Whether it's RIA or the experience or the one-time thing, you're going there to network. You're going there to sharpen your skills. And a lot of people we talk to are looking at their other guys as competition, and they're a little bit reluctant to go in there and bounce ideas off each other. But man, how great is it to be able to talk to somebody that's been there, done that, from a marketing perspective, what works, what doesn't work, from your operation standpoint, what's working, what's not working for you. Hey, we're running into this problem. So I implore anybody out there that hasn't been involved, even in your local little, conferences that they do. We have some in Florida here that are RAF is a great example. They throw lunch and learns together once a month, I think, all over the state. I mean, going and getting involved in those things, you're just going to get better at what you do. It might shorten the learning curve and maybe some mistakes that we've all made as business owners and entrepreneurs. So if someone's on the fence about attending your conference, what's the pitch? What are they going to get away from showing up to this? And I think registration's still open right now, right?
Registration is open. I mean, it's on a point on to come in. I mean, if you're a one-ton plumber owner, you're required to attend, and there's no questions asked. Obviously, there's things that could happen along the way that might not permit you for coming. So if you're a one-ton plumber owner listening out there, you have to attend. Please sign up. We're about to close registration in the next few weeks. You want to attend. If you want to get into the plumbing industry, you want to grow your restoration business as well, talk to us, get your franchise, and then come to a convention, meet everybody. It's such an exciting time. But going back to what you said, that's exactly the point. Coming to RIA experience, we go to all these events, Core, Alacrity, whatever it is, and there's always someone out there that knows something that you don't. Always. I learn at least a couple things every convention that I go to, whether it's in a general session, a networking event, a breakout session. There's always somebody that you might get really real along with, and they're going to share some stuff that they're doing in their business that is going to help your restoration grow, whether it's your asbestos, mold, contents, water mitigation division, or in the plumbing industry as well. There's always somebody out there that knows something you don't. And it's super important to attend these events, because that can help you make an extra $1 million in revenue for your company. They're going to tell you how to better hire, how to find these technicians, how to find these dispatchers, how to do better estimates, how to deal with AR, how to deal with profitability. We touch any single topic. And one of the things that we focus on is doing panel discussions and roundtables. So everybody comes in together, and we work in with case studies and see, this is what my location is doing. What's yours doing that is different, that is helping you with your plumbing location? Or, hey, by the way, how are you getting that many referrals because of the plumbing company? I might not get as many as you. What are you doing that I can improve on to get more referrals for my water mitigation division? So super important attending these things. I see you all the time everywhere, and JC
Yeah,
and your crew, and we always talk about, "Wait, what are your thoughts on this last session?" Like there's always
yeah,
something new, and
sure.
technology keeps advancing. There's new things. AI is coming in strong. It's coming in hot. So there's
Wait, what's
always
AI? What do you mean? What is that? Right.
what is that?
We don't know. It changes every day.
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, it's super exciting. And we have about 40 sponsors coming in, preferred partners and vendors, including yourself and some other folks. And there's still a few spots open if anybody else out there is thinking about, hey, I want to meet these people. I want to come in and sign up for the conference. So
Yeah.
reach out to me. Go to our onetomconference.com website and check us out.
Yeah, sure. And you kind of had a perfect segue into the next section here that we're going to talk about a little bit. And, as you mentioned before, Ironclad, we're exhibiting Ironclad Restoration Marketing. We're bringing a team out there. It's a whole hour and a half away from our office. So we are making that real long journey. Hopefully we don't end up with dysentery and falling in like the Oregon Trail or anything like that. But no, we're super excited to be there. But from your side, when it comes to the exhibits and the roundtables, what do you want people to do when they walk the vendor floor? And really, in your opinion, from where your seat is, what makes a great vendor interaction?
So one of the things that we want to do is push our franchisees to meet all of our vendors at the convention, because these are people that are vetted, that we've
Yeah.
worked with in the past. They work with other locations, so they're doing something right for some of our franchisees. So
Yeah.
we will at least provide those in exchange those communications between the partners and the new franchisees. They're not using them because there might be something they're doing for a location that might be very beneficial for you. So we want to push that communication for the people that we bring on. For the most part, everyone that attends, they're already working with a few or
Yeah.
many locations already. So they're trusted partners, but we always allow 4 or 5 new vendors coming in every year to, give them the opportunity to meet the One Ton Plumber network. And because they're doing something right with other franchise locations and other franchise networks. And we wanted to include them and see if they can help our franchisees grow. But no, it's an exciting time, especially for the vendors as well. And it's not for everyone. I'll say that there's some vendors that come in and they're like,
Yeah.
well, we only got such little value. And that happens like every show. We go to a bunch of shows that we get
Yep.
no value out of it.
Yeah.
But there's also very beneficial for a lot of vendors as well. So
Sure. And there's a bigger picture attached to that too. I mean, I know, not naming names. I've been to a few, and the vendors are like, "Man, this has been real slow." And I'm like, "Well, what do you do? Are you, really, you're missing the point. And the point is to network with the other vendors, to attend the parties and attend the after hours and set up meetings and just get to know people in the industry, because you're not going to know how you can serve the industry until you understand the industry. You understand who's who, what the challenges people are facing. So, if you're thinking you're going to come to conferences and set up a booth and people are going to be flocking there, unless you have some sort of video game or golf thing that they can jump into, they may not. And even if you have a big bowl of candy or something like that, or some fun widgets for them to take, they're just going to take them and fill up a bag, and they're going to go into suitcases and go home. And you're really going to get the value out of it that you put into it, right? You and I have been to a ton of conferences together. We run into each other all over the United States.
yeah.
I'm going to see you probably 3 or 4 more times this year in person, Vegas and everything like that coming up. So I wanted to talk a little bit, because you are like a black belt in events at this point. I think, we can consider you an expert.
I wouldn't say a black belt. I love going
No
to
black belts would ever admit that they're a black belt, by the way, first of all. Okay. So you are, I'm telling you from an event guy, you're like a black belt in these events, right? You've been to them all. I want to give some advice for some first-time attendees or possibly some first-time exhibitors, and how to actually get that value like we talked about. And I think I might have answered some of the things there, but I want to get your perspective on, how they can get more value out of that trade show floor versus just like kind of walking around and collecting hats and t-shirts and candies and stuff like that.
Yeah, the first thing, and one of the things that bothers me the most, is seeing exhibitors sitting behind the table.
Yeah.
Get in the middle of the freaking floor.
Yep.
Grab people, talk to them, make a joke, just say something, even though it's stupid, just get their people's attention and ask them about their business. Like, people like to talk about themselves. Don't go in with your pitch and tell them, hey, this is my product, this is my service, this is what we can do for you. Just ask them about their business. Ask them where they're at. Ask them where they're going. What's their growth initiatives, what their strategies they're putting in place. Ask them about them, because once you get them to talk about something they built, they're going to go on and talk and tell you everything that you need to know in order to be like, hey, we can actually solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about, for me, have you ever thought about adding plumbing to your company? Like,
Sure.
has it ever crossed your mind? Never going with a one-ton plumber, just going and asking about them. So that's the first thing as an exhibitor that people should do, and trying to build those relationships. Don't miss this breakfast, even though they're so early. You always meet somebody and they can tell their story. Go to the networking events. Go have a drink with them later on. Take them out to dinner, but don't push your sales pitch to them. Just get to know them. That's one of the things. Like, people want to do business with people they like, that they build relationships with. So if you're just a classic person and going to your booth and be like, this is my product, this is my service, this is the best thing ever, yada, yada, yada. Get to know the person. It might not be a good fit for either you or the person that is that you're trying to pitch. So that's what I would say is the key to be as successful in the exhibit hall.
Yeah, that's great. And, we're a huge proponent. Like, I love to rather just give information away. Here's what you have to do. I mean, that's why I published the new book. I'm going to be bringing a bunch of books out there. The new book, the Some BS Guide to Internet Marketing, as I think I published that one in January. I mean, they probably had like 80,000 algorithm updates since then, and tactics have changed. So we've got a couple videos coming pretty soon. And part of what we are going to be speaking about in some of the roundtables are some of the new tactics on digital marketing. So if you are attending, back to what Alvaro was talking about, like, get in not only on the exhibit floor, but get into every one of these workshops, get into every one of these roundtables, because you never know. I can't tell you how many I've happened into, like at the experience, and I just sat in, I wasn't thinking much about it. I'm like, whoa, I've got 3 pages of notes from something that has zero to do with marketing, zero to do, with my business at all. But from a philosophical standpoint, even, I know the Head, Hearts, and Boots guys are a great listen. I saw that they're going to be speaking, and they're one of the speakers. They're awesome, dude. If you are struggling in your business dev or marketing or hiring or just getting commercial jobs, you got to sit and listen to these guys. I've sat and listened to a few of their speeches all over. There are another guys that I run into all over the United States, and I can't tell you how much value I've gotten out of something that has zero to do with me personally, or operating the 2 businesses that I run here. So that was for the exhibitors. What about the attendees? What's some advice you can give your attendees? Because I know you've probably got, you got a lot of mandatory ones going in there, and you got some people that are probably slacking and haven't gotten their tickets yet. But what's some advice for them that they can get the most value out of this event?
Talk to everybody. They're going to have their name badge. There's a lot of people that you already know if you're a one-ton plumber owner. But there's a lot of new ones. There's a lot of people that you can give them advice on how you were doing on your initial months when you were onboarding and building your one-ton plumber franchise. And especially for the new people coming in that don't know anybody, because we have over 100 locations now. So it's not like that feeling that you had 3-4 years ago. There were only like 30-40 people in, and everybody knows everybody. Now they start to get a lot of people that they might know who the initial franchisees are. So go talk to them, ask them on advice. It's like, what do you do year one that you wish you didn't do? Or what advice from HQ would have you taken that you did not? Like, what do I need to do to grow a successful operation? There's a lot of successful franchisees out there. Coral Martin, Brian Mara, Rick McWigan, and far more that you know. That go talk to these people. They've been doing it for many years. They're running a successful operation. So ask them, network, go have fun, enjoy the time at the expo. Don't miss any single roundtable. We have a lot of topics, hot topics coming in, a lot of keynote speakers, consultants, and professionals coming in to help every franchise location. Ask them questions, talk to them, and build those relationships from the very beginning, because then you're going to feel comfortable to pick up the phone and call them if you have any questions. And if you're not a one-ton plumber owner, you should definitely consider getting a one-ton plumber franchise, grow the plumbing company, generate wealth, refer water mitigation work to your restoration company, and you get to attend our convention.
Yeah. If that's not a way, you can get rich, you can have a better business, and you get to come to a really fun event. What else do you need? That's a great sales pitch we just came up with here on this show. You heard it here first. We'll clip that up and share that on social media later on. But Alvaro, I know you're really busy. I know you have a lot going on, especially with this event's like 2 months away, just a little bit over 2 months, a little bit. Yeah, we're getting there. Besides the golf, the boat, the parties and stuff, is there anything that you're personally excited about with this, with the event coming up?
I'm excited about how much support we got from outsiders in terms of like partners, vendors, people in the restoration industry that have thousands of connections in the restoration space, because they, not only us and myself, that I 100% believe in one-ton plumber and I'll do anything for this company, but also other people feel the same way that are not part of one-ton plumber. Like inside HQ, they're outsiders and they come in and support one-ton plumber every year. That's what I'm more excited about. Like the people coming in and helping us out, cheering, supporting the brand. That's what makes me happy. And seeing that not only my amazing team, the executive team here at One Ton Plumber, myself, and everybody else that is part of this amazing network that supports it. Is also a lot of people outside of the network that wants to be part of it. That's what makes me super excited.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about your brand that you have people like this that are getting involved, looking through the agenda, looking through the keynotes, looking through what you guys are put together, knowing you, and how you guys are working hard to get this going and doing it the right way. Again, I to everybody go back and listen to the episodes I had Rocky on talking about the whole story, and you're going to see a really nice arc to today's episode if you listen to all three put together when you got some time in the car or the truck heading between jobs. Alvaro, that's really all I got. The last thing that we need to do here is share some details for the event.
All right. So onetonconference.com. If you're planning an exhibit and come in and set up a booth, you can register as a sponsor. Reach out to me first. We'll do some vetting. We'll talk and see what you bring to the table so we can explore that in depth. And if it is a good fit, we'll have you guys as an exhibitor. Any One Ton Plumber owner out there, sign up if you haven't done so. We're ready to close it up. We're working really hard to put in like the best convention ever. So we're super excited. And if you're interested in learning more about One Ton Plumber, growing your restoration company and thinking about adding plumbing to your business, go to onetonfranchise.com, onetonplumberfranchise.com, and reach out to us. We'll love to talk to you more about this amazing opportunity.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Remember, onetomconferences.com. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or any of the audio streaming services, you can find this episode on YouTube as well. And it's also going to go live on LinkedIn here. It's the number one, tomconferences.com, September 28th through the 30th, the Pink Plunger Expo. Alvaro, thank you so much for your time. We will be creating another episode, giving some details. Ironclad will be out there in a booth. We're going to share a separate episode about what you can expect from us at the event and some of the roundtable opportunities. So if you are a one-time franchisee and you're having issues with digital marketing or your branding or anything like that, make sure you're a part of these roundtables because these are going to be a really good, open, honest discussion on what actually works when it comes to growing your business, your visibility online, and everything that has to do with digital marketing. Alvaro, thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple months right around the corner from our office here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you in Vegas before the expo.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see you in Vegas beforehand at the experience. So, yeah, that's coming up too. Geez, I got to get ready for that one. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
If today's episode helped you, then subscribe and send it to another contractor who needs to hear it. And if your digital marketing isn't producing at the level it should, then let's fix it. At Ironclad Restoration Marketing, we build and manage restoration-specific websites, SEO strategies, Google Ads and LSA campaigns, and Google business profiles, all engineered to drive book jobs, not just vanity metrics. Schedule a strategy session in the show notes, and let's tighten up your growth plan. We'll see you on the next episode.